Hey, check it out, everyone. This is Charles with the Thursday edition of Charles Snyder Raw. It's unscripted, unscheduled, and lately it's been unimaginable. It's been, today was just like, I'm beat. I need to get a shower. I'm covered in diesel fuel, and it's just, today was not a good day. Anyway, today started off, it was pretty much like any other day on deployment. Was getting ready to roll out, driving from Thomasville, Georgia, over to Anniston, Alabama. And what should have taken about 6 hours at tops turned into a 14-hour day. We didn't get out of Thomasville until about 10:30. Yeah, about 10:30 we left Thomasville. Stopped. I had another unit follow me along with a trainee. We stopped, we got some propane, and then we hit the highway. We made it about 100 miles or so into the almost 300-mile drive that we had to do, and stopped for lunch. Everything was good up until that point, and so we just started tooling along. But it wasn't too much further after that is when the operator behind me pulled out. He was flashing his high beams and stuff like that. I couldn't figure out what was going on, so we pulled over onto the shoulder of the road, which was all dirt and grass. It wasn't a very good shoulder. It wasn't a wide shoulder. Definitely wasn't a paved one. And got pulled off to the side along the highway, which, it's like 70 mile an hour through there. And there was like no room. So there's like trucks flying by us, just shaking the whole unit, making it wave back and forth. It wasn't a good spot. So anyway, I get out of the unit and walk back to talk to the other driver, and I look up, and his windshield is just like covered with something. I couldn't tell what it was. And he came out, and he's like, "Dude, you're like spraying diesel." And I'm like, "What?" Sure enough, my unit was blowing diesel all over the freaking place. Thus began the adventure. Limped up the road about another, 20, 30 miles, got pulled off to the side, was looking at it, and it was blowing diesel all over the place. Shut it down, called my boss, told him, hey, look, I'm having a major mechanical issue at this point. And, the other guys, they wanted to hang out and see how things were going. And I said, well, you should get up the road. I'll figure it out. We'll get it, I'll get something figured out. And anyway, long story short, they took off. They kept heading towards Anniston, and made a couple phone calls. Found this one business in Columbus, Georgia, that was about 40, 45 miles away, that said they would look at the unit and maybe try and fix it. So about another hour worth of driving, limping the unit up there, I used about almost half a tank of fuel just going 40 miles, which shouldn't have been. So it was definitely blowing out a lot of fuel. And so get over there, and then the story was, they were going to have to order a fuel line. They were going to have to overnight it. It was going to be a couple $100. It was going to be, I was going to have to find a hotel close by. I was going to have to find a ride to get to the hotel, because I sure as hell couldn't drive the unit. So then, we played around with it for a couple hours, and the lead mechanic finally showed up, and he suggested trying to tighten it. I said, well, before we tighten it back down, let's wrap that sucker with some Teflon tape. So we did that, and then the original mechanic that was working on it, he was, God love him, he was trying to help out, but he was skinny as a rail. I mean, my two fingers were about as thick as his forearm. I mean, literally. That's about how big his forearm was, right there. So we wrapped it up. We cranked, I cranked on it, and the other guy was cranking on the other end of it to make sure that it stayed tight. And we fired it back up, tromped on the gas, or the fuel pedal, and nothing came out. I mean, there was diesel and that all over the place. It was still dripping a little bit, but at that point, it wasn't spraying out anymore. So I decided at that point, I'm going to get the thing over to Anniston, where my hotel was, because National Travel hadn't called me back. It was late. I was going to have to cancel. I was still going to have to pay for the room. Then I was going to have a double booking, which the government doesn't reimburse you for. So I was like, screw it. I'm going to drive it. And I did just that. And finally about 15 minutes ago, I got here to the hotel. I got checked in. First thing I wanted to do is just like wash my hands and my arms, wash my face off, but I need a freaking shower. So that's enough for story time. I'm out of here. It's been a crazy Thursday. Love, peace, and chicken grease.